Hello everyone, it's Tilly from Tilly Jones. Welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. Kiara is joining us for this one. I think Nala joins it later as well. In fact, Kiara is just walking in the room while I start the voiceover as well. So I am using the greenhouse kit from Plannerface. This is an old mystery kit. I do PR for Plannerface, so you can use Tilly to save 10%. Unfortunately, it's not valid on customs, things like Advent and custom scripts, and the mystery, sorry. But yes, I'm also using this foil bundle in mixed metal, silver, and like a silver hollow tinsel type thing, along with shattered hollow orange underlays from solid underlays from my shop, and that's just a better show of the foil there. What else have I got to say about this base? It is absolutely stunning. So the reason I used this kit this week is because it was my grandpa's 100th birthday on the Friday, and he had a greenhouse up until he was about 92, which is just incredible. So like, this made me think of him. He had an allotment, and he did loads of gardening and he made loads of clothes and stuff. So yeah, I just felt like this was a good kit to represent him without being a birthday kit, because I don't really have very many birthday kits at the moment. I used lots last year for my 30th birthday and my husband's 30th birthday, and now I don't really have any. I've got like one or two, but neither of them were sort of suitable. One's like Disney and one is cherries, so neither are really suitable for my grandpa, so we've gone with this. There was a lot of explanation for not a lot of anything really. So that is the base of the kit. So in the sidebar I have put his 100th, so we had a meal on his actual birthday and then had a party at his care home on the Saturday. The other thing in the sidebar, the 3 books I finished this week. I hadn't read much in April, and in May I did the Bujo Book Club Goober Readathon, hosted by Monica, Jashi, Corinne and one other person. I can't remember who the other person is, but yeah, so I read loads in May, and then I'm back in a reading slump in June, but oh well, we'll get there. Also, how are we like halfway through June? Like, this is the end of June when you're seeing this, but we're the middle of June at my recording, and I like literally I don't know where the time has gone. Life is just flying by. So the books I finished this week were the first one I've got marked is Heartstopper Volume 1, which was a 5-star read for me. It is a reread for me. So Nick and Charlie are a year apart. I'm sure you know what Heartstopper's about, but Nick and Charlie are a year apart at school. Charlie's out as gay and in a bit of a situationship with another guy, but when Nick and Charlie are seated next to each other in form, a friendship develops which will change them both, join them on this journey of growth. I actually couldn't love Heartstopper more. It's so cute and heartwarming, but it has like real feelings and real emotion and real topics discussed. The graphics are gorgeous, and yeah, I highly recommend all 5 volumes that are out so far. The final 6th volume comes out later this year, I believe, but yeah, if you've not read Heartstopper graphic novels or seen the TV show, I recommend. I haven't actually seen the TV show, but yeah. The second book I put there is How to Keep House While Drowning, and this was a reread after listening to the audiobook earlier in the year. Essentially it is from a lady with ADHD, and basically talks about like little things you can do to keep your house and like ways of tackling things, and I think it's really, really accessible, and it's a great way to look at things to try and keep your house tidier and cleaner. I got it out from the library to read a physical copy so I could make some notes, because I wanted to like have those down. It's got real practical solutions to things, and it also talks about care tasks, not just keeping your house, and care tasks include everything from like actual cleaning to getting showered and dressed, and basically setting yourself up for success the next day and stuff like that. So I think I would really recommend it. It was recommended to me by Anna of Plannerface, who made this kit, so yeah, it's clearly recommended because 2 of us have recommended it. And the final book I finished this week is The Brothers Hawthorne, which is the 4th book in the Inheritance game series. This one, rather than being about well, it's still Avery is still involved, but this is from the point of view of 2 of the brothers, Jameson and Grayson, as they struggle with family dynamics of their own, basically. So if you don't know, the Inheritance game series is about Avery Kylie Grimes, who essentially inherits billionaire's fortune, and he like writes his family out his will, but she has to live with them for a year. This sets off a load of games that the old man, the Tobias, used to set for his grandkids to basically work out why he left the money to Avery and wrote out his family. So that is the first 3 books in this series. Then this 4th book takes the role of, each of the grandsons have a different father, and it takes the role of like basically the boys' relationship with their families outside of that. So yeah, it's kind of about that, but there's still games and challenges and stuff going on, particularly with one of the boys, and it is an enjoyable read. I gave it 4.5 stars. So basically, yeah, Grayson's been keeping an eye on his sisters, so when one of them is in trouble, he sweeps in, but will he be able to keep the truth a secret? Jameson's mysterious father, who had no interest in finding it, appears and gives him a challenge. Jameson can't turn this down. Will him and Avery be up to the new game? I really enjoyed looking at Grayson's relationship develop with his sisters. I think it's my second favourite book after the first one. It did take a little while to get moving, but it's worth it. The plot Jameson ends up in is a lot of fun. It was classic inheritance games. And that secret that comes out at the end, Barnes knows how to set up for futures. So yeah, I'm excited. I have actually read one of those future books, and that secret does come up in that, but I'm not going to go into that any more than that. So that is it for the base of the spreads and stuff. I'm now going to get into the day by day, because we know what I'm like. I tend to chat a lot. I've chatted a lot about those books, to be honest, so we probably will get through and end up rushing. So yeah. So this Monday morning we got up early because I had to go to fracture clinic because of falling the week before, so it was like a week since I'd fallen and hurt my foot. Basically they were like, yeah, we're pretty sure it's broken, but you cannot see anything on the x-ray, so we're going to CT it. So they basically wanted a CT scan. Spoiler alert, it is really broken. Spoiler alert, we're 8 weeks down the line from the fracture, and now I need an MRI to see if I need surgery. Fun. It's looking like I'm going to need surgery. So spoiler for several weeks ahead. Then we went into the centre of York, because that's where the hospital we go to is, and we went to Wagamama's for a little bit of a lunch date, and had a wander around York, just went into a few shops and stuff like that. And then I did some pumping on the way home. It's quite a good way to pump because you're not doing anything else in the car, so it's like quite useful like way of getting pumping done without much effort. And then in the evening we did Bath Baylor. So yeah, that was just the end of that day. On to Tuesday we had an early start to the day, again because I had actually received a phone call and I was going to have my CT scan that morning, but it was a very early appointment, so yeah, we did that. Then on the way home we went to the Asian cash and carry. Baylor was not particularly settled, so I took her back to the car while Soch had a good look around, because it was really him that wanted to go. And then I had a bit of a nap when we got home, because obviously we'd had 2 early starts in a row, and obviously I get up quite a lot in the night to feed Baylor. To be fair, my husband does do his fair share. That's why we are pumping, so that he can do his fair share basically in the nights. He's a great dad. Like, I cannot fault my husband at all. Then I had Kirsten, and we just had a chat about how things were going and things. Then I did some planner time, probably catching up because of being tired and probably having early nights. Then we had my care coordinator come round, and we just had a chat about how things were going, and it was actually really helpful. Like, I find those chats quite helpful, particularly like they both are very good at getting me to come out my shell and talk about how things are going. I then went through my cards that I had previously written to sign Baylor's name in them, because obviously when I wrote them we hadn't known her name, so yeah, I signed all the cards with her name. Then we did a quick Aldi run. We do tend to go to Aldi quite a lot, basically because we buy quite a lot of fresh fruit, so we have to go several times a week to keep it fresh, basically. Then we had some family cuddles, which was really lovely. I love family cuddles. And then we actually finally announced Bella's birth on social media, because we hadn't yet. And she was nearly a month old. And like a lot of my maternal side of the family was going to meet her later in the week. So I wanted to, announce her generally on Facebook as well. On social media, not just Facebook. On to Wednesday, we had a really nasty night with Bella, which was just exhausting after like the last couple of days getting up early, and then she was up a lot. And mostly when I say it was bad night, it means that we were not up, we would maybe up lots of times, but primarily she wouldn't go back down, which can be really, really tricky. We then did lots of laundry during this day, and we were tidying. I think possibly I was folding laundry, but I can't remember. And then we went to tour a nursery. This is not the nursery we went for, and was probably our least favourite of the three. In the afternoon, I had Rob, who is one of the nursery nurses with the perinatal team, come, and we were trying to do some baby massage, but Bela just was not settled enough for it. So I was mostly feeding her, because she did not want to go down at all. But I was also getting quite a lot of pain with feeding, and I didn't know what was wrong, but it was quite painful. I then did manage to record a voiceover, but I was just feeling in my feelings, I think because of the lack of sleep, and also breastfeeding was being really, really painful. On to Thursday, we had a bit of a poop fountain from Bela, so that was not ideal. And I was just in a mood because I was feeling sore and tired, and yeah. Then I decided to go to the doctor. I contacted the doctors about the pain I was having when feeding, and they thought it was thrush. So yeah, I had an appointment with them. Then after the appointment, I did take a little bit of a nap and have some planner time before going for a bit of a walk, which was nice. We walked across to my parents' house and spent time. So some of my grandpa's family came round. Some of my grandpa's family came from Poland to see him, so one of his nieces and great nephews and great nephews, something like that. Sorry about the weird cut there. As you may have heard in the last clip, my baby had woken up and was wanting milk, so I had to go and give her some milk. So yeah, we went round to my parents' house to spend some time with Bartek, his mum and kids, who are family from Poland. We had a nice roast dinner with them. We thought it was a nice idea to give them a roast dinner as like a traditionally British kind of thing. Spent lots of time chatting and feeding Bela, and that was kind of that day. So on to the Friday. This was my grandpa's actual 100th birthday, so I've just marked that in first. We did have a bit of a lie-in, and then we did lots of feeding. After that, just about when we were going to leave for my grandpa's birthday meal, we got a call from the hospital saying that Bela's heel prick, which had been repeated, showed that she was a carrier for cystic fibrosis. So yeah, basically what that means is that she doesn't have it herself, and we're pretty sure she doesn't have it. She's had the test for it, or we haven't had the results, but it was like 2 weeks ago, so she had it, would have heard about it, so we're just waiting for the letter that says the test was negative, presumably, but yeah, we're just waiting to hear really. But yeah, we'd definitely have heard if she had it. But yeah, it was a real shock because we had no idea that either of us had the gene, because it's a genetic disease, but it's a recessive genetic disease, so both of your parents have to be carriers to be any chance that you have it. So me and Soshin have now also been tested to check our carrier status. It is generally a Caucasian disease, so it is much more likely I am the carrier and that Sosh isn't. But yeah, we are just waiting for confirmation about that, and to check that like future children that we have don't have a risk of having it, because if we are both carriers, there is a risk of that. So I've just marked that I was in my feelings about it and struggling with that, because it was a real shock and it was really upsetting at the time. We are kind of have come to terms with it, but yeah, it was really upsetting at the time. And then we went off to my grandpa's birthday meal, which was a good distraction, to be fair. We told my mum and my sister via message, and my dad via message, but it was a nice distraction to talk to people and talk about his birthday and things, rather than focusing on the phone call Oh, sorry, absolutely knackered always because of baby. There was lots of chatting with family, so basically all of my grandpa's 4 children were there, as well as some of their families, plus the family from Poland. So that was just really lovely. Then in the evening we went back to my parents' house to spend more time with the Polish family, and my nephews and sister had arrived as well. They were there the day before as well. I had cuddles with my nephew and had some playtime with my older nephew, and then we took Bayla for a bath with Verity, because at this point she had only ever screamed baths down, and it was a surprise bath and it worked. She didn't cry for that bath. She has since cried for more baths, but she's getting there, she's getting better at it and is a bit more settled in the bath now than she was back here, because we're at this is obviously the beginning of May and we are at the end of June when I'm recording mid-June when I'm recording to this. On to Saturday, I was feeling really rough. I was feeling really sad about everything with the cystic fibrosis, and I'm going to be honest, I felt like I had failed our baby for quite a while, and like that it was all my fault, and like they're not thoughts I'd have ever had if it was Soch that was the carrier, but because it was me, I was judging myself for passing that on, even though I didn't know. Well, we don't know it was me, but the likelihood is that it's me. And I was just feeling really, really rubbish about it, and I was actually really upset. So I was just feeling awful that day. I did do some reading. I haven't marked in what I was reading, but because it was the readathon, I was reading every single day. I don't always mark in reading, it's just if I don't have anything else to mark. And then it was my grandpa's party. So this was at his care home, and it was more, basically it was similar people to the day before, but there were more of us. So like all of his great-grandchildren were there, so he has, I always get this wrong, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9 grandchildren. Bayla is the 9th. So they were all there, all of his family were there. Basically there was only one of my cousins that didn't make it, so yeah, there's a lot of us, because my mum's one of 4, and then 2 of them have 4. Really sorry about Google, my husband's just gone outside the door, that's why it's going off. I normally mute it, but I didn't, because I didn't expect him to be going out the house, but oh well. Anyway, I've just marked in that we did lots of chatting and there was food and it was just nice, and that my mum had organised getting some videos from some of his Polish family, and we put those up. My uncle edited them together and stuff, and also edited some photos from his, like, that we've got of him and his life together to make a cute video. So we played that, which was nice. Then after the party we went to a play park with Felix, my older nephew, my younger both my nephews, and Bayla, just to have a play. Obviously Otto and Bayla are a bit small for that, but yeah, had a good play with Felix to try and get some of his energy out. And then in the evening there was sort of like an after party at my brother's pub. We went along to that and just had some nice family time, and I think afterwards we went back to my parents' house again, and just had more family time. It was quite nice family time, weekend days. It was really lovely. On to the Sunday. That was it. On the Friday, my brother-in-law, my sister had come down earlier in the day, and my brother-in-law came on Friday evening after Felix was done at school. That's why I haven't marked in that Verity was there on Friday, because yeah, I don't know why I haven't, but yeah. Anyway, on to Sunday. I started the day by doing some odd jobs, because obviously I hadn't done much during the day, and I filmed a plan with me, checked in with our budget, and I think probably set the budget for May, get the month right, because I probably hadn't done it yet. Then there was something called Barnby Feast on in one of the very, very nearby towns, that one of our old babysitters, her dad was being like honoured. He died, so he was being honoured, so I've just marked that in, that we went, so that's why we went, and we saw her. Had lots of playtime with Felix at my parents' house, and we had a barbecue at my parents' house as well. And that is it for this video. Again, I apologise for Google. Comment, like down below, all that kind of jazz. Leave some sort of plant emoji in the comments if you got this far in the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!